Resuming from Harinamamrita Vyakaranam, Samas Prakaranam. So we are doing Shamram Samasa under the category of Krishna Purusha Samasa, and we had studied um, Visheshana compounded with Vishesha, and then now Visheshana with Visheshana. So Sutra 926, Kinchitvena Vibhage Gamyepi. A Visheshana is compounded with another Visheshana even when a division is understood because of partialness. And the compound so formed is called Shamaram, Shamaram Samasa. So that's the Karmadharaya. So thus, when we have the Vigraha, Kinchit Angam Naraha, Kinchit Singhaha. So we get Narasinghaha. So this Narasingha also is a Shamaram Samasa. Interestingly, Shamaram Samasa, Karmadharaya. Similarly, we get Shukla Krishna, partially white, partially black. Kinchit Shukla, Kinchit Krishna. Then Krita Kritam, partially done, partially undone. Yata Anuyatam, partially going, partially following. Uh, so, like that, Amrita says, this sutra means Kinchitvena Angshika Rupena Vibhage Gamyamane api Visheshanena Saha Visheshanam Samasyate. A Visheshana is compounded with another Visheshana even when a division is understood because of kinchitness. This is an interesting word, kinchitness, uh, partialness. In kinchit angam, naraha, kinchit singhaha. Naraha means narasadrisham, human like, and singha means singha sadrisham, lion like. The vigraha of Shukla Krishna is kinchit Shukla, kinchit Krishna, partially white, partially black. The other examples should be understood in the same way. So krita kritam is kinchit kritam, kinchit akritam. Yatanuyatam would be kinchit yatam, kinchit anuyatam, and so on. Further examples are bhukta bhuktam, pita pitam, uditan gata pratyagatam. Um, yes, uh, in India, like the traffic police, so they use this one word, a samas, yatayat. So basically, like traffic police in Hindi, they write it yatayat police. So yatayat means traffic. So yatayat is also uh, looks like this category Sham Ram Samas. So kinchit yatam, kinchit ayatam. Maybe, or it could be Dvandva Samas also. Yat and ayat. In anyhow, any case. So this is also when Visheshanas are used.
So is that going and coming? Yatayat?
Yeah, yat means going and ayat means coming.
Yeah. In Bengali it's the same jata jat.
Okay.
I mean it's pronounced differently, but it's the same word.
Yeah. So yatayat. So that's Sanskrit actually. Yat and ayat. So Sankshodhani says all the compounds described in sutras 925 to 931. So this is 926, the current sutra. So all these compounds described are expansions of the prototype Sham Rama that was ordained in Sutra 920. So these are all different kinds of or expansions of Sham Rama Samasa. Uh, yeah. So thus they are also called Sham Rama Samasa. Okay. Atha पूर्व निपातादि अर्थम वक्तव्यांतराणि. Now other sutras will be stated to explain purva pada, purva nipata. placing first as an exception and so on. So, for example, purva purvaktantam paschat ktantena. A word ending in kta which expresses an earlier action is compounded with a word ending in ta which expresses a later action. And the compound so formed is called a Shamram Samasa. Um, for example, Purvam Snatah Paschad Anuliptah. This is the Vigraha. So Purvam Snatah. So first Snatah and second Anuliptah. First bathed, then anointed. So for this we get Snatanuliptah. Snatanuliptah. Hmm. So Purva Ktantam Paschad Ktantina. So this Ktantam means a word ending with Kta. So Amrita explains all the sutras from 927 to 931, which are only expansions of the prototype sutras Visheshanam Tulyadhikaranena and Kvachit Visheshanena cha Visheshanam, are made just to create restrictions about which word can be placed first. Therefore, these rules set aside Visheshanam Tulyadhikaranena and Kvachit Visheshanena cha Visheshanam. Yes, so the main rules for Shamarama were 920 and 925th, and these sutras are expansions of them. So the words Snataha and Anuliptaha are both Visheshanas, and thus they could have been compounded with each other uh, by Kvachit Visheshanena cha Visheshanam. But the problem would have been that either one of them could have been placed first in the compound, since the word Visheshanam in Sutra 925 ends in a Prathama Vishnu Bhakti, and both of them are Visheshanas. Thus, we could have gotten Snatanulipta or Anulipta Snataha. But in reality, only Snatanulipta is acceptable since it expresses the correct order of events. Thus, this rule is made just to create the restriction that only the word ending in ta that expresses the earlier action can be placed first in the compound and not the word ending in ta that expresses the later action. So, just to set the sequence of activity that the words are placed. So the action done earlier. So the word expressing the first action comes first, and the second comes second. So earlier and later. Hmm. Then upameyam vyagradhibhi upamanaihi. And upameya, so that which is one is upaman and another is upameya. So upaman or upama means a comparison, and upameya that which is compared. So the subject of comparison. Like for example, if I compare um, like Ghanashyam, if I compare the Lord to the clouds, Ghana. So then Ghana, the clouds are the Upaman, and Sham would be the Upamaya because he is compared to the clouds. So an Upamaya is compounded with an Upaman, such as Vyagra, and the compound so formed is called Shamram. For example, Purusho Vyagrah Iva. Purushah Vyagrah Iva. A man like a tiger. So we get Purusha Vyagraha. So this is also Shyam Ram Samas. When Upame and Upaman. Shyam Ram Samas. So can you just mention, maybe can you just write on WhatsApp so that we can have uh, So in Sham, just you can give an heading. Uh, Maybe you can note down and you can send on WhatsApp so that we can have a reference. So just
I'm
give,
sorry,
yeah, just give a
what do we
heading.
want to put something?
Yeah, so just give a heading for Shamram Samasa, and then number one point could be um, Visheshana compounded with a Visheshya. So that's number one. Visheshana with Visheshya, and in brackets maybe you can write that's Sutra 920. Okay, I mean you can. Okay, I mean that also could work. Visheshana Vishesha. Then second point would be Visheshana and Visheshana. Sutra 925. Visheshana with Visheshana. So that's Sutra 925. Uh, okay, example for this could be one example we can write Shyama Sundaraha. Shyama Sundara, just so that we could remember. Then then so the next is Visheshana with Visheshana when Vibhaga, when division is understood. So number three would be Visheshana with Visheshana when division is understood. Yeah. So for example, uh, Narasingha, which is Kinchit Angam Naraha, Kinchit Singha. An example of this. Maybe I don't know if copy. So Narasingha. Okay. Then yeah. Then Visheshana with Visheshana when Visheshana with Visheshana and in brackets Ktanta Visheshana referring to Ktanta Visheshanas and uh, as per the the timings of the activity, the sequence of active action. An example for this is given here. Nata Anulipta. The example is Purvam Snatah Paschad Anuliptah. So Snata Anuliptah. Yeah, just give the gloss also, the Vigraha for this. Purvam Snatah Paschad Anuliptah. Yeah, these would be quick notes for references. Okay. So okay, then the next one is uh, Upameya with Upaman. This is the next point. Upameya with Upaman. And the example is Purusho Vyaghra Iva iti Purusha Vyaghra. Yeah. So, okay. So, but samasa cannot be done in instances like Purushaha Vyagraha Iva Shuraha. So, a man, Purushaha, as strong as a tiger, Vyagraha Iva Shura, because there is dependence on another word. Amrita says, Yad upamiyate tad upameyam, yena upamiyate tad upamanam. Okay, so the upameya is that which is compared, upamiyate, and the upamana is that with which a thing is compared. So yad upamiyate tad upameyam, yena upamiyate tad upamanam. The upameya is a visheshya. Hmm. So the upameya is a visheshya, and the upamana, and so it would have been placed last in the compound by visheshana tulyadhikaranena. But this rule is made so that it will be placed first instead. So Upameya and Upamana in this category, Upameya comes first. The place is first. Like Purusha Vyagra, so Purusha is the Upameya, the subject which is compared. So it comes first. In Purusha Vyagraha, there is, okay, maybe one more note could be made here in this fifth category. Uh, Upameya equals to Visheshya and Upaman equals to Visheshana. This upamaya equals to visheshya, upaman equals to visheshana. Hmm. Yes. So if we see the very first sutra, 920, Visheshana and Visheshya, so the example was Shyam Ram itself. So there, Shyam was the Visheshana and Ram was the Visheshya. And there Visheshya came at the second place. But here in Upamaya and Upamana, the Upamaya, which is a Visheshya, comes first. So a difference. That's why the sutra is made. In Purusha, Vyagraha, there is a comparison by means of the similar qualities of being powerful and so on. Purusha Vyagraha means Purusha Shrestha, the best of men. This is in accordance with Amarkosha's statement. Syuh Uttarapade Vyagra Pungava Rishabha Kunjarah Singh Shardul Nagadyah Pungsi Shresthartha Gochara. So when they are the final word in a masculine samasa, the words Vyagra, Pungava, Rishabha, Kunjara, Singha, Shardula, Naga, and so on convey the meaning of the word Shrestha. So we are familiar with many of these words. We know Vyagra, Pungava is also used, Narapungava, Rishabha is also used. Uh, yeah, Shardula, sometimes we have seen Singha. So these are all used in the senses of superiority, Shrestha, best, when used in samasas, in such when used as upaman. Thus we get Muni Pungava, the best of the sages. So Nara Shardulah, the best of men. Um, then Kavi Kunjarah, the best of poets. Purush Singha, the best of men, and so on. Similarly, because the Vyagradis are an Akriti Gana, Mukha Padmam, Vadana Chandramah, Kara Kamalam, Charanaravindam, there are many such examples. So these are also um, in the same category. Like we have upameya and upaman. Like mukha padmam, mukha is upameya, that which is compared, and padmam is the upaman by which it is compared. So mukha padmam iva, vadana chandrama iva, kara kamalam iva, charana aravindam iva. So iva suggests the comparison. Iva, like yeah, likehood, likeliness. Maybe we can you can write few some examples here, like charana aravindam, very famous charana aravindam. Examples for this fifth point: charana aravindam, mukha padmam, muni pungavaha. Just three, four examples for reference. Yeah, so this upame and upman concept is used a lot in scriptures. Okay. Sankshodhani says the Vyaghradis are an Akriti Gana, but the following words are mentioned as examples. Uh, Vyaghra, Singha, Riksha, Rishabha, Chandana, Vriksha, Vrisha, Varaha, Hasti, Taru, Kunjara, Ruru, Prishat, Pundarik, Palash, Kitava. What is Akriti? Okay, so collection of words belonging to a particular grammatical rule. Hmm.
It's interesting. They all have to do with some kind of animal or plant.
Hmm. Yeah. Since the Vyagradi are an Akriti Gana, the compound words that can be made by the sutras are practically unlimited. This sutra and all the examples quoted above deal with the poetical ornament named Upama. Yeah, so this is called Upama, the ornament. Upama Alankar, which is signified by the word Iva in the Vigraha. When, however, it is seen that uh, the Upameya is not placed first in the compound, it should be understood that the compound is a Bahuvrihi Samas. Okay, that's interesting. Now, when Upameya is placed first and Upaman second, like here we have done, so that's the Sham Ram Samas, like Purusha Vyagra, uh, Charana Arvinda. But if the Upameya comes second and Upaman comes first, then that would be Bahuvrihi Samas. For example, Padma Lochana, which means one whose eyes are like lotuses, no, and not a lotus like eye. Hmm. Chandramukha means one whose face is like the moon, uh, and not a moon like face. Hmm. Because like in Bahuvrihi, Padma Lochana would be glossed as Padmam iva Lochanaha yasya saha. Like Pitambar, we do it as Pitam Amram yasya saha. So in Bahuvrihi, we use that element, the concept. So Padmam iva Lochana yasya saha, Chandra iva Mukha yasya saha. So that would be Bahuvrihi, Pitambara Samasa. But here, it's like Charana Aravindam iva. That's all. So the Charanas, which are like Arvinda. So there's a slight difference. Uh, the concept is the same, Upaman and Upameya, but to different samasas doing it. differently a bit. There is another poetical ornament named Rupaka, that's the metaphor, that is also commonly used in Shamarama compounds. It is signified by the word eva. Okay, now the previous one was upama, which is signified by the word eva, upama, and this is rupaka metaphor, which is signified by the word eva or rupa in the vigraha, eva or rupa. The difference is in meaning between the two is this. In upama, we say, for example, that the face is like the moon, whereas in rupaka, we say the face is a moon. This could be noted, a note. Upama is signified by Iva, and Rupaka, which is the metaphor. So Upama was simile, Rupaka is metaphor, which is signified by the word Eva or Rupa. I'll just bring the charger from my laptop. Yeah, this example could be stated like the face is like the moon and the face is a moon. Yeah. An example of a verse with several Rupakas is the first verse of Rupa Goswami's Lalita Madhava. Suraripu Sudrisham Uroj Kokan Mukh Kamalani Chakhe Dayanna Khandaha Chiramakila Suhrit Chakora Nandi Dishatu Mukunda Yasha Shashi Mudam Vah. So, okay, so here Sura Ripu Sudrisham. Sura Ripu Sudrisham Uroj Kokan. In this verse, there are four Rupakas: Uroj Kokan, Mukh Kamalani, Suhrit Chakora, and Mukunda Yashah Shashi. The Vigraha of Mukha Kamalani, for example, is Mukhani Eva Kamalani, the lotuses that are the faces. The lotuses that are the faces, or Mukha Rupani Kamalani, the lotuses in the form of the faces. The idea is what kinds of lotuses? Lotuses that are faces. Here the word Mukha is the Visheshya since it is the Upameya. The word Kamala is the Visheshana since it is the Upamana Vishayi. And there is Purva Nipata by the Sutra Mayuradayo Vyangsakadibhi. But we can also make the compound Mukha Kamalani by the current Sutra, in which case the Vigraha is Kamalani Iva Mukhani. Yeah. So uh, lotus-like faces. Here the word Kamala is the Visheshana, the word Mukha is the Visheshya, and there is Purva Nipata by the current sutra. Thus, the form ends up looking the same, but technically there is difference in meaning and in construction. Sometimes, for the sake of easy readability in English, Rupakas are translated as Upamas. For example, here is Srila Prabhupada's translation of the same verse. Yeah, the beautiful moon-like, glories, lotus-like faces. So in this way, okay, let's do Anvaya.
I'm confused about that last point. Then how would one know that it's actually a Rupaka or an Upamana?
For me, like generally everything looks
Hmm.
like Upama. You know, mostly things look like Upama almost. For Rupakas, the commentaries are helpful. Yeah, the commentaries are helpful for Rupakas because if let's say if it is Mukha Kamala, now to understand it as Upma, Mukham Kamalam Iva. Mukha, which is like Kamala, that is easy to understand, like Upama point of view. But Mukha Kamala Eva, the Rupaka, so that the commentaries will say. The commentaries will say. So for me, I I understand like that.
Thank you.
Anvayas, chapter 11. So Canto 1, chapter 11. And the text should be the 23rd done.
You had written 23 in the WhatsApp chat.
Yeah, that was, I think, for the previous class, maybe. Um,
Yeah, so this is the next
mm, maybe the last class we didn't do the unwares, so 24th onwards, or 23. So I'm just okay, 23rd actually, 23rd. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11, Text 23rd. Swayam cha gurubhir vipraih sadarih sthavirayrapi ashirbhir yujyamanonyair vandibhishcha vishatpuram. Swayam cha api sadaraiः सस्त्रिकैः स्थविरैः वृद्धैः गुरुभिः पितृव्यादिगुरुजनैः विप्रयन्यैष्टवन्दिभिस्तावकैः आशीर्वचनैः युज्यमानः युक्तः सन् पुरीं नगरीं प्राविशत्. So it's been a while now that Lord is trying to enter the Dwarka and we have made him stuck. So Swayamcha, he himself now he entered into the Dwarka city along with the ladies, his wives, the old citizens, people, Vriddhai, along with um, along with Pitrivya Adi Gurujanai, along with his paternal uncles and his gurus, spiritual instructors, teachers, brahmanas, and then Vipra refers to the brahmanas, and also the Vandis. So those are the people who sing glories, the gayakas who sing glories, and he was being praised, and he was blessed by with different blessings. So such Lord, he entered into the Dwarka city. Purim Pravishat. Okay.
Could you repeat that word, stavirai buddhai vridhai? So those are old people,
Yeah, Vriddha means the old people.
but the Gurujans, so they're old people who are not the Gurujans.
No, the Gurujans are different and Sthavirai are different.
Okay. Because I thought Gurujan is included one's elders who are not just one's ancestors, but other elders.
So here, BPT version says, okay, accompanied by elderly relatives. Okay, so it says elderly relatives.
The elderly relatives are not, those are the Gurujan. Oh, invalid. That's interesting.
Hmm. So Guru Bhihi refers to by elderly relatives. Here, Sthavirahi is just invalid. A different approach here. And if we see here, then Swayam Cha. Okay, so you are right. Sthavirai Gurubhihi. So this Vriddha goes with the Gurujana, and they along with their wives, Sadarai. So such Gurujanas along with their wives, Sastrikai. Okay. And then Viprai and Anyahi Cha. Okay. Yeah. So that makes sense. 24. Rajmargam gate Krishne Dwarakayaः कुलस्त्रियः हर्म्याण्यारुरुहुर्विप्र तदीक्षणमहोत्सवाः हे विप्राः शौनकादयः कृष्णे राजमार्गं गते प्राप्ते सति तदीक्षणमहोत्सवाः तस्य ईक्षणैः महान् उत्सवः यासां ताः द्वारकायाः कुलस्त्रियः हर्म्याणि प्रासादान् आरुरुः आरूढवत्यः. O Brahmanas, Shaunakadi rishis. So when Krishna he got onto the Rajmarga, the highway of Dwarka, the main streets, the roads of Dwarka. So when he approached that that highway, the Rajmarga, so the the ladies of Dwarka, Dwarkayah Kulastriyah, for whom the glances of the Lord were like a great festival. तस्य ईक्षणैः महान उत्सवः यासां. So the glances of the Lord would cause like a great festival for them. Such Dwarka Yah Kulastriya, such Kulastris for Dwarka of Dwarka, they um, they climbed on their palaces. Prasadan means the palaces, and Aruruhu climbing up. So they climbed up their palaces. Iti.
Why is it Krishna here?
Okay, so now like in Sanskrit, when this concept is called Sati Saptami. If you see Krishna and Gate, both are in seventh case, 7.1. Krishna Rajmargam Gate. So in Sanskrit, there is this concept of Sati Saptami, which means uh, when there is an action which follows, which is followed by another action immediately. For example, Krishna Swadhamo Pagate. You must have heard that verse. This is very famous. So when Krishna went to his abode, uh, the same time or after that, Kalyug entered. Or when Krishna Swadhamo Pagate Dharma Jnanadibhi Saha Puranarko Dhunodita. So the same time, at that very moment, Srimad Bhagavatam appeared. So one activity completes and then another activity starts. So then Sati Saptami is used. So Krishna Rajmargam Gate. So when Krishna um, approached the Rajmarga, then the Kulastriyas they climbed up the palaces. So this is Sati Saptami Prayoga. I'll send few notes on this to you, Sati Saptami. This is very common. Okay, I'll send few notes to you for this Sati Saptami.
Yes, thank you. I guess maybe we did this, but I forgot. I don't.
Yeah,
But yeah,
we
that
must have done
explains
this.
it.
That was the meaning of the verse. नित्यं निरीक्षमाणानां यदपि द्वारकौकसां न वितृप्यन्ति हि दृशः श्रियो धामाङ्गमच्युतम् यत् यस्मात् नित्यं सदा श्रियः शोभायाः धामाङ्गं धाम स्थानम् अङ्गं यस्य तम् अच्युतं श्रीकृष्णं निरीक्षमाणानाम् अवलोकयताम् अपि द्वारकौकसां द्वारकावासिनां दृशः अक्षीणि न एव तृप्यन्ति हि अतः आरुरुः. So it's telling it's because yasmat because um, Achyuta, Lord Achyuta, Shri Krishna is the abode of all beauty, all shobha, eternally. So eternally Nityam, Lord Achyuta and the limbs of Lord Achyuta, the body, the limbs of Lord Achyuta, they are the abode, the dhama of Shobha, of all beauty, of all splendor. And that's why, even though the citizens of Dwarka Vasis, they constantly take darshans of him, look upon him, nirikshamananam, avalokayatam. Still, the eyes, drishaha, akshini, They never get satiated. Na eva tripyanti. That's why ataha aruruhu. That's why the ladies, especially Surastriya, aruruhu, they were climbing up because they were not satiated, even after looking upon him constantly. Iti artha. Okay, so we'll stop here. Resume tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Dhanavat.
That